Hey everybody, Marcos Villegas here in Las Vegas, being joined with the Iceman, Chuck Liddell, who's getting ready to head into his rubber match with Tito Ortiz.
Rubber match?
Yeah, part 3, rubber match.
So how's it a rubber match? I beat him twice. He's 0-2.
Well, but the third one is known as the rubber match, you know, in fight terms.
Usually rubber match should be one of you. When you're
one though.
You're 1-1 is rubber match,
like
right?
when it's a trilogy fight. Okay, I'll say trilogy fight, because you did win the 2 fights. You're in a good mood. You're happy. Welcome back, man. How is it?
Oh, it's awesome, man. I'm in a great mood. I love seeing him that nervous this far away from a fight. It's great.
You already know him so well that you know that you can read that off of him.
Oh yeah, I can tell he's trying to convince himself, which is kind of sad. He's trying to convince himself that I'm washed up. That's why he can beat me, because he knows he can't beat me if I'm not washed up. So he's hoping really bad that I'm washed up. So it's going to be great that fight night too, because he's going to get hit once or twice. He's going to try to take a shot once or twice and go, oh no, he's not washed up. Oops, maybe I shouldn't have been here. And he's going to fold. It's going to be bad.
You coming into this fight knowing that you've already stopped him 2 times already in the fights, or put beatings on him in the 2 previous fights. Talk about the confidence coming in knowing you have that chip on your shoulder into this fight.
Well, I've always had confidence with Tito. I was a training partner with him before. You know, he says his reasoning for wanting to fight me is because I turned on him. Well, I was a sparring partner. Sparring partners fight later on in their careers all the time. You know, that's not abnormal. We were just sparring partners. We weren't buddies. We didn't grow up together. We weren't close friends. So, you know, but Tito's expected. But for me, Tito's a perfect opponent for me to come back to. I wanted to come back. I was getting the itch to come back. I was ready to come back. And I need a tune-up fight. What bigger tune-up fight than Tito? And it's for me, I consider this a tune-up fight. I can make a lot of mistakes in this fight and still beat him. You know, so it's one of those things, like, I'm not going to. Especially if he comes at me, please come at me to knock me out. If he comes at me to knock me out, I'm knocking him out in the first round for sure. But it's going to be a long night for him. He's going to figure out real early that I'm not washed up, and that he's going to have to fight me, and he's going to fold mentally.
You said you had the itch. It's been there. How long has it been there for? How long have you been contemplating coming back?
You know, it's been there for a long time. I kept getting asked the question, so what don't you miss about fighting? And I sit there and think, no, there's nothing I don't miss. I mean, I miss weight cutting, because I know when I weight cut, when I make that weight, I get a fight the next day. That's exciting to me. I'm fired up. I'm excited to be back in the gym with an actual purpose to be fighting. I mean, it's been, I can't even explain how fun it's been being back in there, getting ready for a fight. So I've been wanting to. I didn't leave on my terms, and this is my chance to go out on my terms, doing everything right, doing everything my way.
How's the transition getting back into fight shape been like for you, and has it been difficult at all?
Well, I took it slow. I mean, I knew I was going to have to. It was different. I still train with guys and help guys get ready for fights, but as an extra sparring partner, as a guy working with them on certain things. But to get back in shape for fighting, I knew it's a whole nother level, and I had to take it slow. You know, I've gotten a lot smarter, a lot wiser. I've learned a lot of new things, new ways to train, and new stuff. A bunch of concentration on recovery. But I took it really slow, and I've gotten slowly back in shape. And I mean, I'm good enough. I'm in shape to fight right now. So if we wanted to, we could do this right now. We could do this tomorrow night if they want to throw us on the card.
Your route to get to this point right now in terms of training, like how long was the getting back into it process? Like how long was that? Was it like a year? Has it been 8 months?
It's been about a year. I mean, he started
so a year, little by little, getting back into fight shape.
Little by little over the last year, he started popping off about me out of nowhere. Really, I mean, it was stupid, you know. But I was, you know, he wants to pop off, so I started getting back in shape so I could make comments back. I started making comments back, messing with him, and he was kind of poking at me, wanting to fight. So I started getting back in shape to see if I could get back in shape, because see if I could do this. I really, you know what? He sparked that interest again to actually, you know what? What a great warm up. What a good tune-up fight. And let me get back in shape and see if I can do this. And I got back in shape and started getting back in shape. And I was having so much fun doing it. I was so excited. It's so excited to be back in the gym with that purpose. that that you lose sometimes when you retire. Like you've gone your whole career, or my whole life pretty much, with something coming up next week or next month, and getting ready for something, and all of a sudden you don't have anything to get ready for. You're like, whoa, wait, I got nothing to get ready for. So, having something on the horizon, getting ready, it's such a great feeling. And I started to get back in shape, and everything started firing the way I wanted to. Everybody's going, man, wow, you hit so hard. Like, I think everybody's held mitts for me since I started getting back. So, man, that's the hardest I've ever been hit. Damn.
Well, you always were known for your power.
Yeah, and he's going to sadly realize it's the last thing to go. But it's going to be. My hands are fast. My feet are moving fast. He's going to have a lot of trouble with me. I'm here to show people you can do anything you put your mind to. I took it really, really methodically and got back in shape. Got back ready for this fight. This is going to be a great night.
Oscar De La Hoya had told us in an interview that we did with him about this, that he wasn't happy with how MMA fighters were being compensated. And he mentioned that you and Tito will make the most you've ever made in your careers. Talk to me about that aspect, about coming into this new venture with Oscar, and how that all unfolded in terms of the compensation part as well.
Well, I've done a lot of firsts in MMA, which has been a great pleasure for me. But this is another one. It's doing the boxing model where the premier athletes are getting, a bigger share of the payout. We're gonna get great compensation for a successful fight. This fight goes well, we're gonna get paid very well. So it's a great step in the right direction for mixed martial arts and making more stars, more guys that can make those big paydays.
Do you feel in general it needs to catch up to boxing? Do you feel it should be at that point, or is it starting to level out where the guys are making good amounts of money?
Well, I think it needs to go. This is going to get a very difficult thing for me. I go back and forth. As a fan, I want like an NFL. I want one league has all the best fighters in it, so we don't have any. There's no politics. There's no making the fights. Hey, the number one guy fights this. Number one guy fights. Whoever makes sense in the rankings fights. Yeah. But on the other hand, I want the fighters to get compensated. So if they're going to stick with the NFL model for the UFC, they really do need a union or someone, or just to make union pay, pay out the fighters more across the board. It's just one of those things. But as a fan, I like the NFL model. But as a fighter, I like the boxing model. Obviously, at the top, and a lot of fighters are that way. It's a fighting. We're fighters. We want a shot for the home run.
Prize fighters.
Yeah, who are prize fighters. We want a shot for the home run. We want that to be on the horizon somewhere. We want to be we're working in the gym. We know one day there's a $10 million, $15 million purse at the end. We want to see that. We'll take the lower pay fights trying to get there. It's not a big deal, but in right now in the big in the UFC, there's not that final payout.
Looking at the other organizations, you said you wanted to come back. How many offers did you get from other organizations to come back, and what really made you go this route with the Golden Boy outfit for this promotion?
Well, there was other organizations interested. I had other offers that were a lot more of a guarantee, but didn't have the upside at the end if we win. If this is a successful event and we win, it's got a huge upside for us. And I've always bet on me. So I'm betting on me again. So here we go.
What is it that gets under your skin about Tito? You would think after all these years that the beef would be squashed, that you guys would get over it.
He's the one guy, I try to get over it. I try to treat him nice.
I remember, yeah. So I was kind of surprised because I thought it was kind of quelled off.
He just can't keep his mouth shut. I think it really bothers. I think he feels like I stole the thunder from him, like I took what he should have had. I became who he should have been. And so I think it still eats at him that I took that from him. He kind of feels I took that from him. And I don't know if he believes his own lies about I turned on him and we were great friends. And that's what you started saying because you didn't want to fight me when it was time. It was a story you made up, Tito. It was a story you made up when you didn't want to fight me. He didn't want to fight me after he beat Ken Shamrock. So he said, I don't know, we might have to go to a prod and wait, you're supposed to fight me. I was fighting you next. He actually even said in the fight before, after I beat Vitor, he got in the ring and said he was going to kick my butt after he beat Ken. But then he beats Ken, and he's like, and I had a big knockout that night, by the way, a kick knockout. And he's like, I don't know if we can fight Chuck. I'm not going to fight Chuck. We might have to fight in Pride. We're friends, and I don't want to fight him. And it's like, come on. You know, it was his excuse forever. Now he's using it like that's his motivation for this fight because I was his friend, and I turned on him. I'm a turncoat. He's an idiot, complete idiot.
He would mention this, and many fans would mention this, you know, given the last few fights you had in the UFC. What would you say to those fans that would be concerned about you coming into this fight? What would you have to say to them?
You know, I've had a long layoff and a long time to recover. I do a lot of things different. I do a lot of things better. I've been taking care of myself for the last 8 years, and I am doing very well, and they'll be very impressed with who shows up. So.
Is this one and done, or this is something you want to keep doing and doing and doing, and you see yourself staying active even after this fight?
This is a tune-up fight. This is my tune-up fight to come back, and I want to fight 2 or 3 more times after this. Body providing, as long as I think I can do anything I put my mind to, and as long as I can, step by step, I'm going to take a hard opponent next, and a harder opponent after that. And if he's still around, maybe John Jones at the end for the last one.
Is that the goal?
That would be the goal if we can make it. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but that would be the goal. I'd love to make it there.
What happens there? That'd be something that'd be a huge fight, and a lot of fans would want to see. So what would happen? How would you attack someone that hasn't been deciphered yet? Like, how would you beat that guy?
I think I match up really well with him, styles-wise, the way he fights. One of his things that he does best is control where the fight is, and he does that by wrestling or striking, and he can't out-wrestle me. He won't be able to take me down. If he did take me down, I'll get back up. But he won't be able to take me down, and he's not. So he's going to have to strike with me. So now he's got to play the striking game with me. And you know, the way he strikes, I see me landing a couple big bombs, and I don't think his chin's been tested the way I'll test it.
If that happens, I'll be paying to watch. So you'll be getting my bucks if that does happen. Chuck, as always, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It was really good seeing you. You're in great spirits, good energy coming from you, and I look forward to your fight with Tito Ortiz coming up soon, November at the Forum in Inglewood. This man right here returning to fight Tito Ortiz.